Over the past couple of weeks, the entire financial community was just going crazy over Tesla stock. And while yes, I know I'm late to the party and you're probably already aware of this, there's another stock that's kind of been flying under the radar and not getting nearly as much press, and it's still crushing it. So I thought we needed to make a video and address this stock. Hey, what's going on, savers and investors? I hope you're all having an awesome week. My name is Griffin, and in today's video, we're gonna be kind of opening up a discussion about a stock that honestly is just blowing my mind every single time I open up my brokerage. This stock just seems to be going higher and higher and higher. And over the past couple of weeks, with all the talk about Tesla and some other large tech companies and growth stocks, this stock right here, Shopify, actually has kind of been flying under the radar and not really getting all that much attention. But nonetheless, I think it is very important that we speak about it, because over the past year, we've seen a 195% increase in share price. So this is definitely something that needs to be spoken about. Shopify stock trades under the ticker symbol SHOP on both the Toronto Stock Exchange and the New York Stock Exchange, and it debuted the 2019 year at a mere 187 Canadian dollars and has since been able to climb all the way up to above 700 Canadian dollars per share, still having taken a almost 30% hit in Q4 of 2019 between about September and November. But this begs the question, is this justified, and how is this stock seemingly just going up in value every single day? Now hold up a sec here, we're a couple minutes into the video, and for all of you watching this saying, what the heck is Shopify? Well, let me bring you up to speed as to what Shopify is so that we're all on the same page. At its fundamental core, Shopify is basically an all-inclusive subscription-based e-commerce platform where entrepreneurs can create their own website and sell products. So for example, if you sell jewelry or honey or glasses, whatever it might be, you can create a website or online store, that is, through the Shopify platform and sell your products to people all over the world. So their base subscription starts at $30 a month and goes all the way up to what they call the Shopify Plus account, where prices vary based on size and resources necessary, but can easily be like 40-50 grand per month depending. And just to give you a bit of context as to the size of some of their clients, they have shops such as, for example, Kylie Cosmetics, Fashion Nova, Yeezy Store, and KKW, just to name a few, and there's hundreds of others which all combined generate billions of dollars annually. But even though Shopify's bread and butter is really that subscription-based e-commerce platform, the company is certainly not limiting themselves to that one single business model. In fact, they're always looking to expand their scope of operations. One notable example is with their up-and-coming fulfillment network that they're going to be launching throughout the United States, where as a merchant, companies are going to be able to spread out their inventory across different fulfillment centers throughout the United States for quick and efficient shipping, sort of like what Amazon does with their Prime membership. So in my opinion, the company's future endeavors and plans are most certainly part of the main reasons as to why there's so much investor interest and future speculation on the stock. That certainly sounds like a new phenomenon with tech companies, isn't it? But even with future opportunities on the horizon for Shopify, the company certainly still has a pretty impressive suite of products and services that they currently offer. For example, Shopify has their very own payment processing gateway that's incorporated in their Shopify platform. So anytime a customer makes a purchase through a Shopify store and uses their credit card through Shopify Payments, they're going to make a cut off that sale. And then they also have what's called Shopify Capital, where online entrepreneurs using the Shopify platform can request business loans directly from Shopify. And if you really think about this for a second, it is absolutely genius from Shopify's perspective, because an entrepreneur or company that's utilizing Shopify's platform and services is going to be living and breathing within Shopify's ecosystem at all times, because they're going to be utilizing all of their products and services. For example, their hosting and e-commerce platform, their payment processing, their internal resources, as well as loan capital now, and then also in the future, fulfillment and distribution. I mean, geez, Shopify is allowing the customer to have access to all of their products and services and never have to leave the company, which is both positive for the customers, so the entrepreneur or company, and then also it's positive for Shopify's future growth and expansion of operations. And let's be real here, there's a strong possibility that you heard about Shopify for the first time on a Facebook or YouTube YouTube ad from a so-called 17-year-old guru flying around in jets and trying to sell you a Shopify dropshipping course for $997. All jokes aside though, typically what these people are referring to is a business model called dropshipping, where essentially as a company or merchant, you never actually hold physical inventory yourself. Rather, when one of your customer places an order on a store, you make an order directly with the distributor and they send it to the customer's door. Well, it so happens that about 99% of all these drop-shipped products come from China, and Shopify happens to have a plugin called Oberlo, which seamlessly integrates your online store with listings on AliExpress, for example. So in a sense, Shopify kind of owns the dropshipping industry. If you're catching my drift here, I'm kind of just saying that Shopify is definitely making an impact on all e-commerce based merchant sales that isn't generated through Amazon or any of the other really large players in this space. And I personally believe that this company has huge potential, and this is most likely what's really exciting investors and therefore having an impact on the stock price, which is just going higher and higher every single week. Now, you might be wondering why I'm even speaking about a stock such as Shopify in the first place, because after all, this is a tried and true growth stock, right? They've never paid a dividend, and I guarantee you, you will not see a dividend from Shopify in the coming years. Also, yes, they have growing revenues year over year, even though it's at a pretty alarming rate. They've never been profitable. And also, for example, they don't have a track record of properly managing growth, etc., etc. There's a bunch of reasons as to why I personally wouldn't invest in this stock. However, even though this is true, and yes, I am more of a conservative investor, I like to park my money in cash flowing real estate, for example, or dividend stocks that have a proven track record. Nonetheless, I actually went ahead and purchased some of this stock back in October, I think it was, of 2019, right when it was around $434 per share. And the period of time in which I did go ahead and purchase some Shopify stock happened to be right after I had the opportunity to visit for myself Shopify headquarters in my own hometown of Ottawa, Ontario. And let me put it this way, it was hands down the coolest work environment I have ever seen in any company or startup. It was truly amazing, and I was really impressed by the company's focus towards employee self-development and growth, and then also their clear focus and mission on really helping their customers grow their own business, which, remember, are business owners themselves. And for this reason, I was deeply impressed by the company's mission and real culture here. And for this reason, I went ahead and purchased some stock, knowing fully well that it could go up or down, but this was really a risk that I was willing to take because I actually really admired this company and what they were doing. All right, so now that we have a clear picture of what Shopify is and how they're trying to take the e-commerce world by storm, let's actually dive into the company's stock quote and financials in order to try and understand what's going on here with the share price. So straight off the bat, over the course of 2019 and now in the first quarter of 2020, Shopify has slowly crept up to the 7th largest market cap listed on the Toronto Stock Exchange, which, if this doesn't give you really any context, let me give you a bit of perspective here. This is larger than any of the telecommunication companies listed on the TSX, such as, for example, TELUS, Roger, and Bell, which have all been around for decades here, and is also larger than the Bank of Montreal, which has been around for over 100 years and has been highly profitable for most of those years. In terms of the actual financial fundamentals and stock quote of this company, we're really looking at a typical tech growth stock here with an earnings per share of negative 1.43, meaning that the company has really never pulled a profit, and the price to earnings ratio is absolutely non-existent, obviously, because there is no earnings in the company. Dividend yield, yeah, right, and then a price to book ratio right around 21. At the end of the day though, it's absolutely normal and expected that a hyper growth company such as Shopify is not going to be paying out dividends. Rather, they're going to be reinvesting all of their capital and earnings back into the growth of the company in order to continue generating more and more income and hopefully over the coming years become profitable. When taking a look at Shopify's financials, their year-over-year revenue growth is honestly nothing short of phenomenal here, with an average year-over-year revenue growth of right around 40%, which is just crazy. And from the perspective of a bullish growth stock investor, I can understand the appeal. However, let's keep in mind that even though the revenue growth year over year and even quarter over quarter is phenomenal, phenomenal within Shopify, the total sales are still relatively baby numbers in terms of the e-commerce space here, with $1.5 billion in total revenues for 2019. In contrast to this, Amazon did $280 billion in 2019. Pretty big difference here. And in contrast to Shopify's revenue growth to be expected with their net income, the company has never pulled a profit, with net income in 2019 of negative $124 million. But here's the thing, you guys all know that I traditionally rely on value investing principles and dividend growth investing principles to pick and choose my own investments. Evaluating a stock such as Shopify based on this same criteria simply is not realistic and the right way of approaching it. If we learned anything about tech stocks such as Amazon, Tesla, Virgin Galactic, and many others, it's that evaluating the share price of a tech stock really has nothing to do at this point with sound financials and logic, but rather much more with emotion, investor speculation and interest, and overall just where this company is going and how the market feels about the company. And this is definitely what we're experiencing with Shopify. This is a company that honestly has unlimited potential for future growth of operations, and with extremely bright leaders and an empowered workforce all working towards one primary goal. Honestly, I would not be surprised if we see the share price continue to go up in 2020, reaching even plus $1,000 valuations, but that's just my guess. Looping back around to what I said at the beginning of this video, I wanted this to be a discussion about Shopify, and I'd love to know down in the comments what you guys think about Shopify, both as a company and as a stock, and where you think this stock and company is gonna go in the future years. Also, I know this isn't my typical style of video. We're not going over stock picks per se here, but I had a ton of fun making this video, and if you guys enjoyed this style of video, let me know down in the comments also if you'd like to see more of this type of video in the future. If you're interested in learning more about how you can go about creating a balanced dividend portfolio, then make sure to check out the video right here. And if you're an older investor looking for some really great ways to start investing your funds, then check out the video right here. So on that note, thanks a lot for watching today's video, and I'll see you in the next one.